So far, we've talked about how mission and vision guide planning. But as I mentioned at the beginning, mission and vision are also connected to the other major functions of management: organizing, leading, and controlling. Let's look at each in turn. Organizing involves building the structure of a company, deciding who reports to whom, how work is divided, and how resources are allocated. A big part of organizing is also shaping the culture of the firm, the shared values, norms, and accepted behaviors among employees. Here, mission and vision play a guiding role. If a company's mission is about creativity, its structure and culture will look very different than if the company's mission is about efficiency and cost reduction. You can actually see this in everyday experiences. Shopping at Walmart feels very different from shopping at Trader Joe's because their missions and visions drive very different cultures and employee behaviors. A famous example is Procter Gamble. Historically, P&G was highly innovative and relied heavily on internal R&D, but when they realized that they couldn't invent everything in-house, they shifted their mission and strategy to rely on external sources of innovation: universities, startups, and outside labs. This created resistance from employees who suffered from what became known as the "not invented here" syndrome. Changing the mission and vision helped P&G gradually reshape its culture to embrace external ideas. But it was a slow and difficult process, because culture is notoriously hard to change. Contrast that with Pixar. Pixar's mission and vision made it such a unique, innovative culture that when Disney acquired the company, it deliberately chose not to interfere. Disney let Pixar maintain its own management, culture, and mission, because Disney wanted Pixar's creative output, not to impose its own structure. The next function is leading, which is about motivating and inspiring people to achieve the organization's goals. Mission and vision are powerful leadership tools. They give employees a sense of purpose and provide leaders with a way to align people around shared objectives. Often it's the founders or CEOs who define the mission and vision, and their influence can persist long after they leave. Apple is a classic example. When Steve Jobs passed away, many worried Apple would lose its direction. But Jobs had already embedded a strong mission, vision, and culture into the company, which allowed Apple to thrive even after his departure. Finally, we come to controlling. This function ensures that performance stays on track by comparing results to standards and taking corrective action when needed. Mission and vision are essential here because they help define those standards in the first place. For example, companies use dashboards and KPIs, key performance indicators, to monitor progress. Tools like Salesforce allow managers to measure performance against goals and even benchmark against competitors. Shareholders also demand this kind of accountability in quarterly reports, where managers explain where they met or missed objectives and what corrective actions they'll take. Mission, vision, and stakeholders. The second part of this chapter also covers stakeholders. Stakeholders are groups or individuals who have an interest in a company's activities, both internal, like employees and shareholders, and external, like customers, governments, and suppliers. Mission and vision matter here too because they help align stakeholder needs with the company's direction. A useful tool is stakeholder analysis, which involves 5 steps. 1. Identify stakeholders. 2. Understand their needs. 3. Identify the opportunities and threats they pose. 4. Recognize the firm's responsibilities toward them. 5. Develop strategies to address their concerns. Take Patagonia as an example. Founder Yvon Chouinard was an environmentalist who wanted his company to protect nature. He confronted a deep paradox. Patagonia's success was contributing to environmental harm, directly conflicting with his personal values and life goals. Unlike many firms, his problem was not stagnation or declining sales. The company was highly successful. Yet that very success carried an environmental cost. Instead of walking away from either his company or his principles, he redefined Patagonia's mission as using business to protect nature. That required cultural and organizational changes, including sustainable growth practices, employee buy-in, and even commitments like donating a share of profits to environmental causes. Patagonia once ran a striking ad in the New York Times telling customers, "Don't buy this jacket." The goal was to raise awareness about the environmental harms of consumerism. Yet critics claimed the message was hypocritical, arguing it was really meant to drive sales. Whether that was the case is hard to say. Patagonia shows both the challenge and the power of aligning mission and vision with stakeholder needs, especially when those needs seem to conflict with running a profitable business. So, to recap, mission and vision don't just guide planning. They also shape organizing by influencing structure and culture, support leading by inspiring people, drive controlling by setting performance standards, and help align the needs of diverse stakeholders. When used well, they serve as powerful tools for motivation, alignment, and even organizational change.